Hi, my name is Nick Smith, and I'd like to take this opportunity to talk through what a RAP is, a Wellness Recovery Action Plan. So it was developed by a lady called Mary Ellen Copeland in Vermont in America in the 90s, and it's changed my life, I think, in a positive way, obviously. So there's kind of I facilitate RAPs over a period of 12 weeks, and the RAP itself is kind of sectioned out into about 10 sections. But there is a fundamental kind of foundation that we build first, and we have to kind of remember all the way through the RAP. And those are the 5 key concepts. And these are really important to explain to people and to consistently refer back to. And so the first really important key concept is hope. And I think hope, if we don't have hope of something changing or something happening, then we will tend not to do something or try something. And quite often we'll find that lots of people that join the RAPs don't have any hope. But at the end they do, because we instill that and we talk about that throughout. The second one is personal responsibility. So you take a responsibility for who you are and what you do, things you say, things you do, and I think that kind of it naturally empowers you if you can learn to take responsibility. And also lots of other people start to respect you a bit more. Certainly true in my case. Friends and family respected me more when I was able to hold my hands up and say, do you know what? Yeah, I was bang out of order there, or I didn't really understand what was going on, and therefore I reacted differently, etc. Bit of a tough one to learn, but it's a good one. So number 3, there's like education. Education is not about kind of what you think it is. It's about learning who you are. You learn about what you are, who you are, what you do, and getting together with other people, you learn about what other people think and do when they've kind of got similar problems to what you've got. And you'll find that some people might have the same diagnosis or the same kind of behavioural pattern, but they're completely different. And so the education part is quite fascinating, really, once you really start to get involved with and reflecting who you are, what you do, and what other people are and do. And also learning the power of people coming together and sharing and supporting each other. I mean, that's a huge part of the education process for me, personally, in RAP. So number 4, we've got self-advocacy, basically speaking up for yourself and having the courage to be able to tell people what you want and what you need. Again, being involved with mental health services or community services, it's important that we learn to communicate. I mean, I have known some people that they can't vocally communicate because they get a little bit stifled and don't really know how to talk to a professional or whatever. But even writing notes or letters and giving them to. So any way of communicating and telling people that you're not happy, or you need something else, or you need something in particular. And again, throughout the RAP, you do learn that naturally through the course and how we facilitate. And the last one is probably the most difficult one for people. It was for me anyway. Support. I didn't think there was any support out there. And the kinds of support were family, friends, professionals. There's a whole array of support that you can access. From even snuggling up with a pet, stroking a pet, watching a favourite programme that reminds you of good times, reading a book, going out in nature. That's a huge support for me. Kind of puts things into perspective. So there's lots of support out there. So the actual plan, the RAP course itself, we start off with wellness tools, and we talk about all the little things that you do that make you smile, make you feel good. Now, I often explain that there's immediate wellness tools and then there's occasional wellness tools. And the immediate ones are like, we all have smartphones, and on my lock screen, there is a picture of my brother and his daughter, my niece, and that just makes me really happy. There's also photographs of my own daughter and my fiance. There's things that I can think about and remember that make me smile. And then, you know, there's things like journals that I've got, TV programs I watch, there's food that I eat, curry, the pot scratchings. I don't know if, well, I don't know if you know what they are, but pot scratchings, yeah. And just learning. And then occasional ones are like, you know, things like going on holiday, going for a massage, getting your hair cut, things like that. And we make a wellness tool box. I buy little shoe boxes and we decorate them together. And we put things in there, like CDs to listen to when you're feeling a little bit down, maybe a bar of chocolate, some bubble bath, maybe a nice scent like an aromatherapy oil or an aftershave, a deodorant spray, something like that. This box is very much like a first aid box. When you're feeling really unwell or you're feeling a little bit blue, you go to this and there's lots of things in there that will remind you or encourage you to start thinking differently and just to try and boost your mood slightly. So those are the wellness tools in the wellness tool box. The first section is the daily maintenance, and we start that by asking people, what are you like when you're well? And a lot of people, including me, were like, I'm never well, so I don't know. Well, my facilitator Jeanette, she said, well, how would others describe you when you're well? And I thought, well, they'd probably say that I'm funny, that I smile more, that I'm creative, I'm more confident, I'm more energetic, motivated, determined. And that's basically what I am when I'm well, you know. I take care of my appearance, I shower, I brush my teeth, I eat healthily, etc. So these are all the things that you need to do every day. Well, these are the things that you like when you're well. And then the daily maintenance is what you need to do every day to stay physically and mentally well. So a few examples are like, you know, you brush your teeth, well, get out of bed for a start, get dressed, brush your teeth, have a shower, eat something for breakfast, take medications, have some fresh air, text a friend, read a joke, watch a particular program. And again, I think there's immediate daily maintenance, like, and then there's occasional daily maintenance. So you might go for a haircut, you might go for a dentist appointment, etc., etc. We then move on to, so over the first few weeks, we've talked all about the great things that we do, and we've learned what we could do from other people. So we then go on to what bursts that bubble, what spoils that, and we talk about the triggers. And this is quite a difficult one. So we tend to do this over like 2 or 3 weeks, and always make sure that there's some fun and games mixed in with the session. So the triggers are quite difficult, and I think, me personally, there's expected triggers and unexpected triggers. One of my expected triggers is that I have a daughter who I don't see, and I haven't seen her for about 18 years, and her birthday is on the 3rd of November, and I know it's coming, so I have to prepare, and that's that. An unexpected trigger might be I get in my car and it won't start. I don't know why. I'm not, you know, or a bill might come through the door, or it might be windy and a tile's flown off the roof. But along with the triggers, we talk about action planning the triggers. So, for example, when I mentioned my daughter on birthday on the 3rd of November, I have an action plan. I know what I need to do to lessen the effect of that trigger and maybe can it help me through it. So I always plan something nice, and I always try and distract myself. I don't always manage that, but I try my best, and I've got it down. We find that after the triggers, if we don't recognise a trigger, then we tend to get early warning signs. And I kind of explain that these are, for me, tend to be unhelpful thoughts and feelings. Wanting to have a drink when I don't drink through the week, or I have a feeling of self-harm, or I don't want to eat healthily, I want to have a dirty burger, I don't want to get out of bed. So all these feelings of I want to shout and swear and tell my fiance to go away. And so again, we discuss them and explain them, and we action plan them. So look at what they are and what you can do to help you through and help you recognise. And by sharing with other people, you'll be reminded of, oh, that is my early warning sign too, or and then like sharing the action planning is quite powerful. If we don't recognise early warning signs, then chances are you might end up in a process of breaking down. Again, it's how I explain it. The breaking down tends to be the unhelpful actions and behaviours. So when I'm craving a drink, an alcoholic drink during the week, a breakdown for me might be that I will actually start to drink, or I will self-harm, or I just won't get out of bed, or I won't speak to anybody, I won't wash, I won't brush my teeth, things like that. But what I do think is quite common, that I think most people that I meet all have the wellness tools, the daily maintenance, the triggers, and the early warning signs. I do get a little bit of resistance when we talk about breakdown, because obviously I explain the Copeland Centre's definition of a breakdown when things are getting much worse. When you're kind of struggling a little bit to live safely. So I don't say that everybody breaks down or everybody has broken down. For me, I have broken down. So we talk about the breaking down. We talk about other people in the group. We talk about their individual experiences of breakdown, whilst we're still mindful of somebody's idea of a breakdown might be somebody else's idea of an early warning sign. So we have to be very careful of that. That people don't just think, which has happened in the past, particularly with young people. They will think, well, I didn't think that was a breakdown, but now that person's saying that was a breakdown, then I have broken down, and it's kind of a little bit delicate. Again, we action plan the breakdown. What can you do? For example, revisit your wellness tools, your daily maintenance. Organise for somebody to come over and take you out, or do something spontaneous, something new, something safe. So the breakdown, so it's kind of the unhelpful actions and behaviours, and then that will lead on to a crisis. So the Copeland Centre's definition is that somebody else needs to take control of your day-to-day living, because you can't make, or you're unable to make, rational, safe decisions on your own behalf. I have experienced a crisis, and so it's about going through what medications you'd like, what medications you won't like, who do you want involving and who don't you want involving. That is quite a popular one, actually. For me, it was, most people have got an Auntie Nora, a matriarch of the family. When you're sick, she knows what to do. I know you better than you know yourself. Now, when you feel well, Auntie Nora comes round on her birthday, at Christmas, and you're dreading it, but you can cope with her. When she's gone, you're relieved. But when you're feeling unwell, you don't want her around, because you don't know what you're going to say, you don't know how you're going to feel. So there's a section of who don't you want involving. Likewise, if you need to be hospitalised, where would you prefer to go and where wouldn't you prefer to go? And is there any treatments that you'd like? So I have reflexology, Indian head massage, hot stone massage. Those things help me. Aromatherapy helps me. And so then there's obviously things that won't help and that I don't want. I don't want to have to answer any calls. I don't want to have to answer any texts. And then you look at the people in your life that you want to support you during a crisis. And these are the people that maybe would pop round and walk your dog, take your children to school, do a bit of shopping, I've got my best friend on mine saying that if I'm in a crisis, I'd like him to come round and we'll watch a comedy film together. So it's really about kind of having a plan that if you ever do find yourself in a crisis, then other people have got something. And the crisis plan is the only part of the rap that's written for somebody else to read. Because it's kind of thinking that you're not able to explain fully what it is that's going on, so other people can kind of make decisions for you with regards to professionals, etc. You ask these supporters to sign and date it and agree to what they've been asked to do, and then we then look at kind of coming out of a crisis, and then the post-crisis plan. So things like, what do you need in the community to make you able to stay at home? What kind of support do you need? And when do you need it? Can you, like, going back to your triggers, there might be a particular time of the year that you find particularly difficult, like Christmas for me. So I've explained to certain people close to me what Christmas means to me. It reminds me of being a child and being neglected. So I have things in place and people understand and people know what they need to do and give me a bit of a wide berth, really, if I'm being a bit of an idiot about things. I would say, though, that where I am, the definition of a crisis can be quite different, and that's completely fine. And that's what I tell people, that, if you feel you've been in a crisis, then that's fine. It doesn't matter what other people have explained what a crisis is. I mean, my crisis was I tried to end my own life and I had to be in hospital for my own safety and for the safety of other people. Fine, I get that. Other people have got different ideas of a crisis and don't buy into that version, but that's, again, completely fine. So that's kind of a really brief explanation of what rap is. I'll finish by saying that rap is an evolving, living document, and it evolves how and when you evolve. It's completely yours. It's private to you. And what I do like is, at the start of every rap, we explain that everybody has an identical blank rap plan folder, but at the end, it's completely unique to you. And it's completely separate to everybody else. And I think the experience of doing a rap is not just discovering who you are and realising that you can become the expert on yourself, or you already are the expert on yourself, because nobody knows you better than you know yourself. But also you learn what other people are and what other people do. And you realise that you've been in this room full of strange people, but yet told them really intimate details about your life, and yet you've not been ridiculed. You don't feel exposed, you feel supported. So therefore, when you go into the public, you automatically have the mindset of, I don't actually know what's going on with that person. And it makes you think differently about people's experiences and people's interpretations of mental ill health or breakdown, crisis, triggers, things like that. So that's it from me. I hope I've covered everything, and thank you for watching. Bye.